commission, the government team and appoint. Came many memorable. Who maybe that commission apple and Chanibia. I am number one. Oh, no, we go Mochanama, Boya, Osita, then commission and this in God. Oh, she did her, the mamma, as we are big gradually. Yeah, there is Yagaba. Ah, oh, mamma, commissioner. Aba anya age. Come ogommi. Odele shineshi. Ishi fokwa notu. Ye menu. Ampo bugachara. Ah, mama. Yeah. God will bless you abundantly and bless the administration that found you worthy to be appointed. I am the administration of Hananeo. Ike Basha of Ahone. I don't true or false? I'm high Jake the Gonian Mega Boy. And when I walking, Abrabachi could walk I at all is me. He's even about Jake the everybody. Oh, Jake. Oh, Jake. He can win Nana, Napo Cheki. Nana Cheki, I'm going. I want to plead with you on behalf of Udo. This Owerre festival ought to go viral. Thank you. It ought to go digital. It has to be modernized. And government can come into it and give it the necessary punch that will raise it. Every year we do it. You should please help us to bring it to an international standard. In the sense that any time there is a new year, people will start expecting to be here in Owerre. And as people come into Owerre, they are coming with their money to spend it. That's correct. You know we have a lot of hospitality business here. Yes. When people come in and throw in their money, it boosts the economy. Beyond this, use your office to now look into some other areas that can also help the state. We know that the state or the administration you are serving now inherited a lot of problems, and we know. We also know that this administration has started doing some good work. Particularly our roads. Commissioner Emanana said some few months ago, you couldn't go to your village. Also, man rocha ala room omanana ona for begin. Omen ga madu then get regret you coming in a vehicle. You would have bought a canoe or a ship to navigate to your village. But I want to remind the administration, although they know that all were fact, people assess the state. I'm talking of assessment, not access. They assess the state from what they see in Owerre.
Yeah.
So if we fail to make Owerre what it ought to be, the impression like he said, will be completely negative. So when people shout, Oblana Owerri Aga, they don't understand what I have just said.
No, they don't.
So Commissioner Shike will continue to pray for you. Now, Owerri is a period of time carved out by our forebears for peace to reign. Any of us here. Him, within this period. On our former spilling blood. It's never done. Over the end. It's never done. It's held sacrosanct. Even though Jenyan supposed to bury, we will cool. Because burial is not something anybody should be proud of. It's painful. And I want to tell you that it would be nice if this office spearheads the chronicling of a lot of historical issues that can attract tourists. You will not regret doing it. The administration will not regret that such a thing is done, and Ndimo will be proud of it. So your assignment also now one of the things I do. Now on the 14th of this month, and you don't need any special invitation to any family. You just go in there and pick. Nobody will ask you visually. So feel free. If you are your unusual, if you are PG, if you are anybody, feel free. Yamashila de more powerful. Gishin go near Migala around big and visual fish. So it is love. I want to thank you again for initiating this move. You initiated it. Please don't stop me. This initiation of yours, carry it through, because it will be beneficial to everybody. You know the 4-way test of road. One of it is this the truth. Give me the second one. Is it fair to all concerned? Is it beneficial to all these things? But I want to tell you that since you are propelled by the 4-way test of Rotary International, which you and I profess, then I know in the office is quite sure that all are beneficial for everybody. Oh, Mamma, I can't remember I have here. I need a letter to officially inform you, Made made the grand finale. I came 14 to on a hard, don't him to go. Feel free, enter into any old man's house. There are other things. Everything I need make is significant, including Oji and Arana. What else will you call a band? When you guy have a make a man. Communion. Yes. That is what it is. And a lot of us don't know. So because and they no longer have channel and we will always want to partner with this ministry we also want to partner with the government of the day so that so we need to be that close. I think I am done. Yes. The commission, Mama.
So since then, all our activities, especially agricultural, we get them involved. That's why the Angonishi, Oba Yoruba, and the planning committee, the Sariki Hausa, so we're in the committee. So each year, Mola Ajeme Owerre will carry them, and they are members of the Owerre community, permanent members of the Owerre community. And so that's why it's here. The Sariki just was coming in here.
Mekele Ubage, Chairman, Onishi, that's Onishi, spokesman. Mekele Ushirama. But my could go Kubiko. Omer Onyega Banane. Yabu Odaku Ministry. O Mr. GUC Mokonko. But na aja ho itu moge Mario commissioner ka osa kwa no
Owerre mamman.
Yeah.
Owerre mamman.
Yeah.
Owerre mamman.
Yeah.
Ko ana ma na bata kuno so. Obi de mu ko to no mo ike ideja. Kuno zo na pa. Na government. Odi ba no pa no zo ro okwa na government, zo ro okwa na government. Ndị ba is na mmụọ guzo anaghị ekere ọkụ.
Yeah.
Mgbe bekee bịara ụzọ ebe a chọchara ebe ọ ga-ebi were Owerre mere ebe a ga-edewe headquarter. Mgbe e kekwara Imo steeti, the old Imo steeti, elechara anya ebe a ga-edewe headquarter dewekwa ya n'Owerre. So what you see is that Owerre is not just a political capital, it's also a spiritual capital. If Owerre does not look for government, government will look for Owerre. And that's what we have done. We need to make a choga. We go Owerre there. Yeah, Bekee ho. What you were Owerre as the way I got no, as one Bekee. They see a lot of Bekee, good the glass house. And one Bekee, that is, and they put the whole of Bekee, they right there, just something that they did in Calabar and a few other locations. Owerre the impact because Owerre is the capital of Imo State. And like the last speaker said, or the speaker for the last speaker, only there are Imo State, others are going to know. Tourism, I Ajoka, I Fukeoku, all over the country. And the excellency has been under pressure while the general region Owerre. Again, all the people even does. But His Excellency knows what everybody knows, that we don't need simile. And therefore, in the era of diversification of the economy, and the economy of Nigeria, and the Nigerian vendors build a new economy. The road Dubai, we have a every area where tourism go carry oil or anything else. I have a economy based on money. That economy will collapse. And the areas of comparative advantage even in the states, all tourism will have a comparative advantage. And Owerre a reputation as an entertainment place a community today we are going to your man. No one will be your job. If you are going to be your job, you can't stay there. And they take life easy. And those of us who have traveled out of the country, I talk about that attitude of taking life easy is the same mentality the white man has. No for the Ghana here now a laissez-faire attitude. But eventually, when we all get older, we find that really that actually up and down was really a waste of time. And therefore, there's the story of a businessman, an international businessman, a billionaire, who was stranded in an ocean, in an island, no Haji. I work in the and then I was not a pro in the bar. He did the send down under my help. I was Hannah or I kid and I community. That's that this is big business. She has to her idea. That's how I money here. Nobody kid what billionaire. I see how. But instead of in a house or an area, not when they are working industry, China package, they may export. Then you make a lot of money. I say, and then what? I said, then you can buy property all over the world, buy ships, buy aircraft, private jets. I said, wow. And then what? I said, then you will buy stocks and have shares in different companies. You know, and be well known as billionaire. I said, wow. And then what? And then you retire as a big man. I said, wow. And then what? And then you come and live in an island like this and be eating fresh fish, coconuts, enjoying yourself by the beach. I said, well, that's what we're doing already. So, yeah, we hear Mota. You know, a guy went there already in a beach, not attacking that house, and then go be Uncle Bioma. He had a make, had them go Bioma parking as well. So sometimes it's good to reappraise our struggles in life. Owerre, God has blessed Owerre in many ways. Owerre is equidistant to all the state capitals in the east here. And God has also blessed Owerre until recently as a quiet and calm territory. Until a month ago, that was why His Excellency the Governor wrote to Tiata that he can never allow a breakdown of law and order in Imo State, and particularly in Owerre, because he knows that the economy of Imo State is hinged on tourism and hospitality, and that once there is a breakdown of law and order, that economy will collapse and any lane will tumble. It's true. Therefore, he put in everything to ensure that peace is restored, and he is still putting more to ensure that here he the Maro Owerre, Udo, na Angore, no Obioma, and the Madu Imo State. Now, all this returned. We have done a lot of surveys since Bidoro. We have produced a tourism roadmap. We have also produced some volumes of hotels in Imo State in alphabetical order. I've also produced another volume, there are 2 volumes here, of hotels and lodging accommodation in all local governments and in Owerre Cosmopolitan, that's the 3 local governments in Owerre. We have found out that there's a high concentration of hospitality industry in the Owerre Cosmopolitan area. That means that's the hub of tourism. I've also looked at Yende Madukena in Imo State. And we have found out that we are not because we have not developed places of interest. And many of these places of interest are also in Owerre. So here in the line, Makodi who believe. Before I would tag this administration, before I would tag those operators or guardian. But in everything I did, His Excellency is looking at collaboration between government and the communities. And when Ghana work for government, again, not for community, all the places of interest, all the ancient monuments in Owerre. We don't want writers to be writing by the marker, and a honka, and a honka. Why don't we put that in order? Put marker, the who market is here. Don't tell your children there was the clock. Don't tell your children, I might go back the clock, put in a magic. Clock, under that clock, inshallah. Clock on Owerre and London. So we go to London and bring another big pen and pick a bigger big pen and pick it. So we're looking restoration, because the more the more our value system the more we can basically see massive. But then when even that Douglas house, a company that produces fabricated buildings in Liverpool is still there. So if you give them a photograph of the old Douglas house, here, package where the container, that's what they did in Calabar. Calabar would have stolen the tourism show completely. More than we're based in Calabar. But Calabar is either you're going to Calabar or you're not going to Calabar. We're based here. But Owerre, you can't go to many places without passing through Owerre. Therefore, the human traffic ordinarily that passes through Owerre is high. How will it be then if we put our tourism industry in order? The festivals are not Owerre. Some of the Berkshire government, for them, we had a water power day, festival. But because of government support and investment, Argunga was here about the fishing festival. So what about Owerre? Owerre, we have been hearing about Owerre from when we were children. So it cannot be that in this day and age, Nakagene as a local event. It's not a local event. It's a national event and an international event. And therefore, maybe some frustrations or some outbreak the government in the past and there was no response. Say, government. It's not a good idea. Not a good idea. Government now comes and goes. Government comes and goes. One day, government actually know they are gap. Then you will regret why you didn't do that. What other communities start getting government attention? So I'm asking people, we are coming to inspect them. Everything. Well, they destroy, we destroy what?
But
Yes. But by now should be looking to UNESCO acceptance as a World Heritage Center. And that means that the UNESCO, which is an agency of the United Nations, would have been funding the development and renovation upkeep of Barry. But somebody came and destroyed it. And somebody who doesn't understand anything. When I see an old pot in a mark in somebody's house, ask him, let me see whether it has value. Because you see, when the white man came here, he condemned most of what we had and took them and sent them to London and put them in the British Museum. Go to the British Museum. The most interesting part of the British Museum is where they have oracles, shrines, and artifacts brought from Africa. That's the most interesting part of the British Museum. And it's there till tomorrow now. It's till tomorrow. So now they are trying to return those who are in prison to collect their own back. So all them you can't break the past from the present. And you can't break the present from the future. They are linked. But what we are trying to do is to break our past, as if there is anything in the past that we should not be proud of. When we're heading in our past that we should not be proud of. Even the Catholic Church, which is supposed to be the most conservative, is now giving room for expression of culture and tradition and encouraging it, in fact. Because the Catholic Church has discovered that the church cannot continue with the mistake of the Irish and foreign priests that came back in the early 1990s and 80. So, people can happen to do for you. I that this generation, the upcoming generations never experienced it, so they won't even have any idea. They will damage everything. So when they come from somewhere locations, somewhere events like Oru, let us package them. If Oru is due this year and there's no jingle, there's no in this era of social media, there are no clips. Social media is free. The money you spend is just a little money to edit the for 2 minutes or 3 minutes only. To be on social media, only hey, this looks interesting. Even our sons and daughters all over the world want to show their children, come and see. And the children will now show interest. We need the sons and daughters to come back. We know how scared they are because of all the insecurity in the country. But at least we don't want to lose our past, and we don't want to lose tourism traffic. Owerri is a #1 event in Imo State. Ikeja Resort is in the same cadre because it's a tourism event. But you will go there and find out that they're still doing it locally. And one of them will say, we know government 7 years ago, they didn't reply. Since they were not writing government again, it doesn't make sense. So I'm going to say, na government of the government Chineke will tell government to Sarono here. Therefore, if the mountain cannot go to Muhammad, let Muhammad go to the mountain. So I'm making a loan of Ijunobira. And I want to assure you that this government is interested in your culture and your tourism assets to help you to develop them. We have seen the efforts the community has made to develop the place. I understand there is these are monuments. These are monuments. Again, what the case in there? Again, what the case in Tagiaya? In fact, some of these grounds are sacred grounds. Yes. Because where 5 generations have conducted rites or conducted events or conducted festivals or gathered for each of Tankewe Zoku becomes a sacred ground. Yeah. Who does this in there? And most of the people who know that what our fathers left, they are not as foolish as they look, even in these modern times. I think you find that there is wisdom that they had that we never had. So because government is your partner from now on. We will partner with you. See some places of interest, we would like to look at them. Any aspect of the festival that we need our participation, we will participate. And when for Owerri Festival, we would like from this year to catalog it, to have a short outline of what Owerri is about. He has given me an overview that Owerri is a festival of love and a festival of peace. Many communities also have such festival. And when the such festival say the impact all now, more than ever before. Our children are angry and highly radicalized. But we should teach them. If you suspend the Okunoka for 1 month or 1 week, you saw that after that period, and you see 2 people who are about to quarrel. They may reconcile. So peace is very important. So we don't have enmity from generation to generation. By way of information on how Owerri is organized, we will look at it together and we will find a way the government will participate. 1, to give maximum publicity to Owerri. We don't want people to ask, I don't want that question. We want it to be in the media. And I look in around an age when half of the media is free. The internet, we do better than here. They need to be concerned. We put on their Facebook page, put in their WhatsApp group, put everywhere. So why won't we take advantage of it? And from the projects, the current group of the administration is handling, it's going to look fantastic in a few months. You can see that the whole lot is gradually becoming the traffic light I told us about Lagos for them is now working here, and there's more to come. And more importantly, some administrations choose quantity projects, some choose quality projects. This administration is going for quality. That will last longer. So all this flood in Ena, by the time the construction company comes there and does the usual survey, but they do a professional work. That was the problem we had in the last administration, or before the last administration. There was no professionalism. You will find that eventually Owerri will take its place as one of the best capitals in the world. Now the government is battling with refuse issues and knowing His Excellency. By the time he takes a final decision on the issue of refuse, we will go back to Sulo, when refuse will be picked up and cleaned and the city cleaned up completely. And we will achieve it because we have seen the governor has the will. Only when the will over and have security, so that it must be restored at all costs. And he managed to get the insecurity down. We know that when he takes a final decision on anything, there is bound to be results. So we know by coming closer to government, not to distance yourself from government, so that we can plan together, execute together. Government to get a but when you know that you have a partner, and that is what we want you to know, then you should also know that have a synergy between you and that partner. Owerri is number one and can never be number two. Therefore, here what I our plan, here what I even in our roadmap, we put Owerri ahead. Even the tourism sites that we have cataloged already. One day in the as Ndai happen like Owerri, Riverside Park that the government is looking at. We're looking at doing a feasibility study to look at the possibilities of Owerri. Owerri is the same way, it is situated the same way that the Thames River in London is situated, smack in the middle of the city. And if they took advantage of that Thames River that you see in photographs or when you go to London, I won't thank God initially. It was also a but man-made. They have constructed it and turned it into the heartbeat of the city. The same thing in Dublin. Dublin also has the River Levy, which is in the middle of the city. They have also converted it. Owerri is a God-placed gold mine. If you go down from apartment down, you can see that you can create a route for boats. You can create a commercially viable route for boats. If you go down to the back of Emmanuel College, you see a lake sitting idle there. And we don't have even one recreational park in the whole of Owerri. Not one. So when you try to on Sunday, it has nowhere to take them. And we accuse our visitors to Owerri of spoiling our children of concentrating only on hotels. Where do you have for them to go now? So we have put up the zoo now, we are building up the zoo, we are rebuilding up the zoo. From 112 animals, we now have nearly 600 animals there, including 2 lions, which just gave birth a few months ago. And you know what it means for an animal to give birth, that kind of animal to give birth in captivity. It means that there is proper care. All kinds of reptiles, all kinds of wild animals, and all kinds of birds, including ostriches, big ostriches. And we also have nurseries of these animals. So what we are trying to create is in the Berabia, Kainya have 3 folder. That's in the print here like this. Has a pay have on it Owerri, Zoo, Imo State Zoo, and wildlife park. How we ended it there. Here maybe be here. How other places of interest. Let us keep these things available for visitors. So if they wanted to stay for 2 days, how about 4 days or more? Because they have places. Some people are looking for investments. So if you have a place of interest in Owerri that you think a government of the neighborhood, how would you want more interest in the develop where? Okay, this place, and the government says investors wanted. The investor is not coming to build it for government, it's building it for the community. So some community will get income from there. So people check out and make a loan or you know. So long as I remain here as commissioner, and so long as Kuku Zolima remains there as governor, we have a partner, a willing partner for development of the tourism potentials of Owerri. One experience. We are going to involve them in tourism planning. And we are going to recommend them to the Excellency. We don't want a role or we have a key play. Everything, every country you see now is looking towards tourism as an investment. Because tourism will provide employment. All the hotels in Owerri are employing people. But the people that will be employed by the time we start executing our tourism roadmap will be more than what all the hotels are employing. And though because we want them to have something to do. And we want also to ensure that they themselves have the inspiration to realize that Owerri have assets, intangible assets. All the cultures, all the musical reputation anyway, we are putting them back on the front page. We are trying to build up a bongo festival so that our children not into music can find encouragement. And we want to make it an international festival. Each one, we're going to circulate permission to all the embassies, we're going to invite people. That's why security is so important to the government. Because one area of them are all security again. But by the grace of God, Chineke goes only in the states, goes Owerri, and Chineke Jackie I make a restore security here. So that when I came really to Owerri, anywhere I go to eat body or eat anything, you see somebody playing guitar gently. Now I want a grave that lowers the blood pressure, guaranteed to lower the blood pressure. But these days, before any guy anywhere, why is that? And those people who visit, oh, they have there because they don't go to big hotels. They have a river home where we want to ensure that the nightlife is restored. Interest in entrepreneurship, even if it is beer polo or whatever, even the local delicacies, even the local delicacies everywhere nowhere. Some of them are going to disappear unless we build them up. So we have a group that's also planning an Owerri festival. We are still looking at whether the name Owerri covers all the foods in the Owerri area or whether we should ask them to rename it. Because we want to highlight those local delicacies on our own, beyond Robin and Concord. That's what's bringing people. People are not coming here for international dishes. They're not coming for international dishes, they're coming for our specialties. So all these things are in Owerri. I need to know what I said. Go to Abuja or Lagos. People are ordering Owerri. Nite. Owerri courier, motorcycle courier. But anyone was Owerri here, we don't take it seriously. That's impossible. It's our product. It's a major product. Even in China, Owerri, they will find a way to package it in a tin. They Owerri and start to export it. They are already exporting a lot of things. They are already exporting Owerri. They are already exporting in tin, like on beef. They don't have how much I can say. So people, let us look beyond oil. Let us look beyond the normal things I do, and look to our culture and our tourism as commercial ventures, not as leisure ventures. As commercial ventures, I'm just giving a brief outline. Why not Papa? And I would like to visit Owerri. I would like to come out. Tourism, our desk job, or field work. I want to come in there. Now when you can wait here, don't know. I got a boy here, but I have like Owerri. And this thing I open a local factory just to put up a stand to say, "Hey, they attack here." Then we add it to our flyer, so people know that they got there. But I got for a visitor. They will pay. So if there are places that will help Owerri or the community association to raise no matter how small the income, it will help to do some of the things in achievement. And that's what the government wants to do. To create income, not for government, but for the community. So let the secretary write out the places that we can look at so that we can give a report back to the government. We want to short list here in each local government, the places that we can attack, add there to the Imo tourist guide. And I don't only bear Imo, all over. Okay, prefer I go in there so for that Ubuta or weapons on that. Over my man, yeah.
Owerri mama.
Yeah.
Owerri mama.
Yeah.
There one.
Yeah.
Special assistant I'm set. Tourism, I think ani na shi ụbọchị na-eji pa narị ya na ana anyị mma ya ka ana nna na anyị ewu abụbe nwe kemgbe ọkwala nọ afọ itoolu ya bụrụ mgbe Rucha so na kọmishọna ewebere refere ya gwanye n'aka gị nke iwuchi gbara oshi ihe gọvanọ Omega Imo steeti not only in Owerri obi n'anya mma ọgbara anyị si kọlchọ anya ha ga-efu anyị ga-eme more stop and then ahụkwa ndị obi na eki ukwuru gọvanọ fụrụ akwụkwọ ewere n'ekukwe were tikiri gbọtọ bara ahụ ji ma akpa ya ọ nọkwa na-ere n'ebe ahụ
Owerri mama.
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
ebe gọvanọ gba olonyarị agị makwa nna si ahịarị mmarị mma anyị ekelele anyị nakwa na-ekele gị arụkwa Chineke si biko aka iji okpukpelachi ya daha continue to project the man anyị na-aka ya o megarị anyị mma mgbe mgbe ọ kpọkwara anyị chiri Owerri mgbe kedu achọkwu n'ime na ya I'm telling you ndị Owerri ga the first to come onwe m obodo edoro ịga ahụ nwanne bishop Mrs. but Chineke nwere nyechiri anyị agọvanọ enwe ndị emejigere a ga-egbu mana ga-ada ma I don't want this type of thing. That is why you seek peace and tranquility now reigning in Owerri. So anyị enweghị ọtụtụ obi mara anyị mma ebe gọọmenti nọmụziri n'ọchị anyị nke anyị okwu anyị ga-adị prepared at all times. Whatever you want from us, anyị ga-enye gị na-arụkwa n'ogechi biko ga-ewede time anyị chọrọ chi onye chi from gọọmenti bụ ụzọ dị mma anyị ga-ede special invitation bịara anyị anyị ga-eji ihe dị iche and ụka ịgbara anyị taa anyị ga-eti ihe ndị rị ọhụrụ anyị eche ma hụchi a ga-anaba ya ma ememe ebe tinye kwuru anyị ga-ejichakwa ọhụrụ ga-ahụ ya adị na ga-agba anyị chi na kpali anya kpali anya ndị nwere okwu echi nke m na-ekele nne and anya gị na-ebe eke mgbe ụwa anụghị amara mgbe m nọ na ministry ndị ji awụgharị krakara so anyị ekelekwala gị anyị ekelela onye ọbụla anyị ga-erikwu ekele anyị kpee ekele onye isi ọha anyị ga-enyekwa gị nwa ngozi ị ga-eji ekwu isi kemgbe onye chi anyị Owerri mama.
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
Biko, Owerri mama.
Yeah.
Kọmishọna biko na ịdọ smart job. O nwere oke ikwu nga. O nwere smart job azụ. O nwere iji aka gbasara mbara. Ije ebe ụlọ fọsụ na ya. Mbara ahụ. Normal tourism. If it is up, admission day, number problem. Before he had it, we actually managed to open the Pandora Mugas. You could get back on it from that. But I'm back it up. I tell you, I don't know what I'm watching. You know, a man with the way we are. Yeah, we don't make money with Adam. The way we are with you. I need to buy a whip book. Oh, Papa, buy out the room, because that, you know, it's very good. So I have to
policeman number one ya mbara ashimajo shi omere iwu ike ijibele kwuo aka anyị gbasara afọ mba ya owe mmaman
Actually, I get no need to be to hear, but I'm up here. Mbare Street without Mbare is a misnomer. Before Mbata government, I'm an advocate, an open advocate of the scrapping of Ezimo from Mbare. And I wrote severally. I'm a devil column this day. I wrote in my column, and I wrote on my Facebook page and my social media handles, and I wrote a petition to the former governor that it's a sacrilege for any traditional ruler, properly so called, to leave his geographical and come to another jurisdiction to answer as Imo and to tap Maya, even to pay Maya or the tap in Piaulu or Gorgi, that it's a sacrilege in Igbo culture. And, I'm not saying it as an observer. I'm saying it as a historian. I have a first degree in history, I have a master's degree in history, and I have a PhD in history. And that's an Owerre. I told him to quickly go to signboard the Ezimo from there, unless he has built it for the traditional ruler of Owerre. That is my personal position. Yes. And it's still Owerre. No a mistake. Owerre by an abomination by Igbo. But now I'm not a government. There are positions that I cannot advocate for now. Instead, Owerre they protest. If you're protesting for something or against something and it's not done, you don't stop protesting until the right thing is done. Or protest and the thing is still there. I go to Owerre Association for Tourism, I see the signboard, and I know it's abnormal. All Owerre is good. They will follow up with strong military on it. Well, you see that here everywhere as a cultural center. I can go somewhere in the night and it is scrapped in the way that it is scrapped. The governor will listen because all on that same basis, the governor will say, Ebe Ndi Maduna Azwa here for generations, and the people have not been relocated, they are still there. And you unilaterally, without discussion or negotiations, yank it off. It's enough to kill some people.
Yeah.
Because some elderly people will wake up and go to a puku layer. Now, I'm going to it's not that. I hear Obodo. And the Hiwe. Government, they don't have for Allah. It's not the same with village community. Something like that, therefore, you don't just come to Hiwe and scrape it. That was the basis. The argument is that, so if His Excellency has the wisdom and the anointing, I can't anointing go to say, but I could go down here. Also, I come I may what the guy became. I had a quite board. Then he has done it. I don't think nobody can get your way in the same sequence. Never and can I'm not just talking about but any monument. Because the government or township has encircled Owerri does not mean that their monuments should be uprooted. No, it doesn't mean that. Instead, what government will do is to assist them to make monumental honor and give it signage. That all as so whatever you think of, whatever you look at, for example, like the clock, which was a monument for it's up to you to ask government to please restore this or that. Even commission and how you here Bruce or the governor that they are making this appeal, but it's not necessary. The place has been taken by God. Because those not what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But if you have a commissioner like me, what I'm body, I will now write my own memo to add to the appeal that you're making. Explaining to government why it is important. And I will go further to show him Eben Dordy, the Big Ben of London. You cannot come and touch. Imagine, why name will watch the London? Why name will food in London? But you don't play with the Big Ben because the Big Ben chimes at every hour. And so if you have a Big Ben that chimes there, it will not a restoration. And so if the governor has come with a restoration agenda for tourist sites and monuments, capitalize on it. Okay. What is enough for the white? Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It is up to you. That moment, they are never back.
Okay.
Because we haven't anything like you said 9 years ago. Don't worry. It was in some of us picture that. Because that place, remember people of so that on that date, the man will make the main ceremony of this movie.
Yes.
Either your request or in an address to His Excellency. And make sure that your letter of invitation to His Excellency is strongly worded. Strongly worded. So that at least just show the face. Una mama and Jahone, mama, you understand what I'm saying? I've been here and I've known how sweet to Jare. Don't look like Edgy. Every year now in Nigeria, every other year, I go to the different places that I'm watching and enjoying myself quietly. No, that's my I make sure that 14 hours is a bag out. Then I'll test the mayor. I'll test the mayor. Because I'm here with a woman. Who wear the jeans? Who wear a man? Who wear a now that just against you also. I like this street because camping is very important. On that day, I'm going to be found out in the world. Do a strong leader so that His Excellency will come. I will be representation. Oje Nubu, Oje Neni government in power to be at that ceremony. And with this restoration of the now, to see and everything, at least Yabo Alundeni, Owerri, some governor friends from other states can come and join in that Owerri festival.
Okay,